Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Thoughts from Your Gal Pal podcast. My name is Clara. I'm the gal behind the thoughts. And today I am bringing back the interview episodes, and this is number 2 in the moving series. I wanted to call it Hopes, Blues, and To-Dos because that rhymes, and I think it encapsulates a move, but TBD on the name. I guess I will have determined this by the time it airs. But anyway, today I have a special guest. She is somebody who I likely met 9 years ago. Couldn't pin the actual day, but probably August 2013. She is the queen of read receipts and consistent replies. I truly aspire to be her. And I also aspire to be here if you're watching the live stream or YouTube video of this, because I've cut my hair exactly like hers. I don't have the undercut yet, but I think I'm on my way. We are also both obsessed with pit bulls. I can send her any picture of a random pit bull and she'll like give me the reaction that I need. And she's okay with me sending her anywhere from 15 to 20 TikToks or Instagram reels in a row. No judgment. And unfortunately, we have not seen each other IRL in 2 to 3 years. I don't really know when, but she's still one of the people who I frequently text, which I think is a hilarious question when you want to get to know somebody is, who do you text the most? Because it just is an interesting question. But hoping to cross paths potentially in Europe sometime this October. So without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Bailey Denton.
Thanks,
Woo!
Clara. Woohoo! Cross
Yes,
paths in Europe in October. Wow, we sound so fancy.
we really do. We really do. So to the subject of the episode today is all about moving, and you have had a big move in the last year. So before we get into that, why don't you just give us the elevator pitch of Bailey? If you met somebody at a cocktail party or in an elevator, I guess, do we do elevators anymore? I guess we go into the office
I
sometimes.
talk to everybody in my elevators, so definitely.
Okay, well then there you go. So what are your days like as Bailey Denton?
Yeah, so let's see, starting from the top, I moved from Atlanta to Miami last year in July. I had lived in Atlanta my whole life, either in the suburbs or in the city, and I took a new job last February, worked remote until July, and then moved down to Miami in July. Didn't really know anybody, but thankfully we can get into this later. I work for an incredible company, and so I feel like I have a lot of fun. Any given day, I am working, I'm going to Orange Theory, I'm walking my dog, I am out with coworkers. I go out more than I should, but that's how you meet new people and that's how you
That's
have fun.
also
And when I
all
say,
relative. That is so relative.
ah, yeah, I do cook a lot. I try to cook. I'm not a very good cook, but I did start doing HelloFresh again during the pandemic, and that's like my secret if you're not like really into cooking, and if you just like we were talking about before this, like trying to juggle all of life of like, okay, I
Yeah.
need to work out, I need to work, I need to take care of myself, I need to cook. I really like HelloFresh. So,
So you're waking up, going on a dog walk, doing the workout, working, and cooking up a meal by the end of the night. I love that. I love that for you. So you already mentioned it, but last July, so you're coming up on your year anniversary. You moved from Atlanta to Miami. You left a job where you were working before, I'm assuming.
yep.
What made you take the jump? I mean, it was work related, right? But was
Yep.
there anything else that was motivating you as you were moving?
Yeah, funny story. I didn't want to move to Miami at all. Like even through, I did 9 interviews to take this job. And
9, was this the CIA? What the hell?
I met with the CEO. Everyone meets with this. Like it's a very intense interview process. So I started it with very low expectations. I was like, I'll just see where it goes. And then it kept getting better and better, which I feel like generally the more people you meet in jobs, it comes out like it's too good to be true and like things get worse. But it just kept getting better. So, yeah, I took a leap of faith and it has really paid off.
And you moved down. I'm assuming you moved in a U-Haul. Like, what were those first like goodbyes in Atlanta? Because as you alluded to, like you hadn't lived anywhere else outside of Georgia other than study abroads or like brief stints here and there. When you were past, like you're going down I-75, you're in the U-Haul. You're passing that welcome to Florida sign. Like, did it feel real then, or when did it hit you? Because I don't know if it's like when the door's shut and your family leaves is when it hits, or if it came at another time.
Yeah, I feel like I have a really weird situation. But it was such an interesting process. So, I obviously born and raised in Atlanta. I had come down to Miami to visit and pick a place to live earlier that year, like in May. I'd only been down one other time, and it was when I was trying to decide to take the job or not, because I had never been there before. And I was like, can't take this job and never been to Miami. So, um, I started, let's see, really making things serious in May. That's when I found a place to live. And then I moved July 4th weekend. My mom, my dad, and my aunt drove my U-Haul of things down, and I drove my dog down with my ex-boyfriend. And it was a very interesting experience. We were together for a long time, so we lived together and we had our whole lives together. So, um, overall, it wasn't a negative experience, but it was just really interesting trying to figure out how to separate our lives and, how to start over, truly start over. Thankfully, he was a great partner through all of that, even though we're not together. Like, he was really supportive and moved me down to my new city. And, you know, uh, so props to you if you watch this. But yeah,
He's
it was
amazing for
just,
that. That's like so special. A lot of people could have been like, "Oh well, to hell with you. You're
yeah,
leaving. Bye."
for
But
sure. No, it was so hard, but it helped having good people around. But I feel like once I started, it really wasn't real until I opened the door to my new apartment. It was like 7:30 in the morning, and the sun in my new apartment's incredible, and it's like straight in the windows. And I like opened the door to this empty 730 square foot studio, which if you live in a studio, you understand the panic of when you look at it without anything in there, you're like, holy shit, this is a tiny room. And I just like, I mean, I was excited, but it was like, oh my God, I'm gonna live in this room for the next year. Um, so, and then we started moving all my stuff in, and it was chaos there for a couple weeks, but it was really good. That's kind of when it really hit me was, once we got down there and got into my apartment, because I had never seen it. I had to sign sight unseen, and so it was just like, oh shit, this is it. All right.
uh, as you said, leap of faith. And so the family, the ex-boyfriend, they all kind of go back or fly back home, and you're there. And you said this, you didn't know that many people other than work. Like just making friends as an adult is hard. I'm learning that, and I feel like I'm so lucky where I live in a city right now where I have a lot of long-standing connections, and then you meet people through friends of friends. But how are you finding a support network over the past year? Like, especially during, like, we never know when it's going to be mask mandates or COVID times or like what's going to happen. What have been some ways that you've met people and kind of some like lessons or advice you could share for somebody who's in that first like 1 to 3 months is just tough?
Yeah. Um, my biggest life hack was live where you want to be. I live in the fun part of town. I live a block from my office. And every single person in my building that I've met is incredible. So be super open to meeting the people in your building and be where you want to be. I met one of my best friends literally when I went and toured my building in May. I couldn't get them to show me the building because I don't know, it's just weird. They were like wouldn't give me a tour. So I just showed up in the lobby and found somebody and I was like, "Hey, do you live here?" And this girl was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Can you show me around?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she like basically is my best friend. Like we have matching tattoos and we hang out like 5 times a week. So it's just like just I feel like as an adult it is hard to meet people, but I also feel like when I was in my comfort zone in Atlanta, I had so many friends that I didn't feel like the random people that I met would ever make it into somebody that I would care about. So like I feel like just going into every single situation open and like it doesn't matter if they're your waiter or it doesn't matter if they're your next door neighbor, like they could be your next best friend. Like there aren't boxes of people in adulthood. Like truly anybody can you can connect with anyone. And so it
We've
I don't know.
yeah, we talked a lot about this like offline. That's such a business term, but you know, the things that are meant for you won't miss you. And I think you guys being at that place at that time, like literally, that was serendipitous. If you believe in a god, that was a god thing.
It
Because
truly, truly,
I mean,
like
like, go on. Sorry.
it makes me so emotional because like thinking I wasn't even gonna go by that day. Like if I would have come by 5 minutes later, if I literally would have went to the bathroom, like she was picking up a package for 30 seconds in that lobby, and she is absolutely one of the reasons that I have fallen in love with Miami. She's shown me a lot of things that she loves, and she grew up there, and I don't know, just 10 out of 10. Finding your good people and lean into people wherever they are because you can connect with anyone anywhere. It doesn't matter where you meet them.
Yeah, and I think that is a good segue into. So she's kind of showing you around, showing you the ropes. What are some ways that you've gotten to know Miami? Because it's a big city, and you live where you want to live. But are you like a coffee shop girl? Are you a run girl? Are you a bars girl? Like, what have been some ways that you've felt not like, oh, I'm visiting, but like, oh, this is where I live?
Yeah. I don't drink coffee, which is truly the stunt. Like it's the worst. It's my worst trait. Like I really wish I did
I
because
could think of others.
it's such a connection. No, true, true. I can think of others too. But I don't know. I really wish I did because I feel like it's how a lot of people end up connecting. But living near work, I feel like propels me to be okay to stay out. Like getting rid of the barrier to be like, okay, I have to drive or I have to Uber to do whatever it is makes me go out more in whatever form or fashion. So, like, I feel like any given Thursday, there's a 90% chance I am out with coworkers and for most of the night. So it's like just I feel like I don't ever really have a plan. I feel like we always end up going to bars or, clubs or drinks or dinner or whatever, but just being open and available. That's and some of my good friends they're in a band. So my coworker, her boyfriend is in a band, and literally all of us from work go to all of these shows together, and
How
it's so fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I think you're maybe not to be your armchair psychiatrist or therapist, but you're like, you don't like to cook or you don't like to do the process of cooking, but the actual meals are satisfying to you. So you get HelloFresh. You want to go out, but you don't want to drive or Uber or spend $30 on cabs. So you live where you were. Like, you're making the barrier to entry into the things that you want to do easier. So it's not this big task, it's not this big to do. Um, and that's freaking awesome. I want to know somebody in a band. I don't know anybody in a band.
I am not cool enough to go to the shows for sure. Everyone there is like 21 years old and like hip. I
Yeah,
have to
get
put
with a
on like
Gen Z.
I have to like dig into the back of my closet every time we go because I'm like I can't wear anything in this closet.
I feel that way when I work at the bar because I work at a bar on Friday nights, and it's sometimes it's like uh 70-year-olds come in who are locals and regulars, and then there's like the Gen Zers, the Zoomers who have birthdays literally in 2000, and I'm like, I'm not cute enough for you. Like, can I even serve you? Like, they give me style inspo, and I was worried about my haircut being mommy, and now I'm like, no, this is like pretty futuristic. This is like 21-year-olds have my haircut. So
That's right, girl.
yeah, so you kind of talked about comfort zones, and I would be curious to know your perspective. Like, you went from living in a 2 bedroom, 2 bath with your boyfriend, with a dog, kind of isolated, like not the most walkable place, to then studio with your dog. What was it like moving to living alone and being, just by the nature of your circumstances, very dependent on yourself? Like, because I mean, not to make this about me, but I wasn't living with a boyfriend, but this is my first time living alone, and I'm kind of struggling with it. So I'd love to know kind of how you've been dealing with it or how
Yeah.
you've been enjoying it, like goods and bads.
Yeah. Um, I love living alone. I've never lived alone before. I think having an animal really changes what it's like to live alone. Um, that being said, I would not say it's for everyone. It is a lot of work to have an animal alone. I love my dog more than anything in the world, but she's staying with my ex right now, and I'm very happy to not be going outside 4 times a day because you can't do anything for the full day. You have to be at or near home. But I feel like if I spend too much time alone, I go crazy. But I go to the office pretty much every day. So, even though it's not required, just because I like it and I get more done. So, um, I feel like that's probably my secret to being okay with being at home alone. Because when I am at home alone, it's like I truly needed to be at home. Like I have to choose to be at home alone because there's literally always something that could I could be doing that is not at home alone. So,
So you have a lot of options to get out, and I feel like that's been a product of your work culture. Which, like, tell us more about what your job is because I think it's freaking awesome, and I want people to
yeah.
know how cool your work life is too.
Um, Full disclosure, if you listen to this and you went to tech with me and you are looking for a new job and you want to move to Miami, we are hiring in literally every department and we need help.
Plug,
And we're the
plug.
best. Yeah, truly my plug. I don't know, it's great. So I work for a company called Frida and we make baby and postpartum care products and
And your
it's
social media slaps. Like, it's
oh, it's
so good.
amazing. I love
I
it.
don't know who's
That's
in your
definitely
marketing
our
team, but I'm for them.
they're incredible. They're truly like they make me realize how some people are born to do what they do, and
Mm,
they are born to do what they do.
yeah.
But yeah, it's such a good time. It's fun working on things that really make a difference in people's lives, like seeing people write reviews and send pictures and like be so excited about, the disgusting and horrible parts of having a baby. And actually solving problems that no one has thought about and innovated on ever because women's
Hmm.
health is not a priority ever. So it's really rewarding and it's really fun. Everyone is 20, 30 something and open and looking to have friends at work, and so we all go out together and it's wonderful.
I'm so glad because if you move to a place for a job and then there was a bunch of stuffy, not that
Yeah.
all 40 and 50-year-olds are stuffy, but like there wasn't a big opportunity to make friends, like I just feel like it would make you doubt your decisions. It would make me doubt mine, and then I would want to pivot. I saw some article on LinkedIn that um, people within 3 to 6 months of starting a new job are already looking for another job because like it's the great reshuffle. Why is it always the great something? Like the great recession, the great whatever, but
We need to
I
have
think
less
people,
greats.
yeah, we do. Like, can we just chill out for a minute? Um, okay, so kind of switching gears to like the go like you're joining us today from McDonough. You're at home. Homesickness is a real thing. What are some ways when you do feel homesick that you kind of work your way out of a funk, or you indulge in those feelings of homesickness?
Yeah.
Because it's normal. It's so
Oh,
normal.
for sure, for sure. Um, I am extremely close with my family, so I talk to my mom literally like 5 times a day. Like I FaceTime my mom
Are
at
you
any
a
slight.
phone call girl or like a
Oh,
text girl?
I'm a face girl. If I can't FaceTime you, we're having problems. Like I need to see your face to talk at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
the
you're
Zoom
like one
world.
of the few people that I still talk on the phone to or like voice message because I feel like Zoom has ruined me. Like if I don't see your face, I can't talk to you. I'm sorry.
Mm. I think I'm just nostalgic for a 2002 that I never lived in. I love phone calls, but
You
I
want your
don't
flip
know.
phone back? I want my razor
If I
back.
got my razor back, I would be happier probably because I'm realizing that the more I delete apps, the happier I am. But that's another podcast for another episode because whew, some apps are, I mean, they're just designed to suck you in. Okay, so you talk to your mom a lot. Good to
Yeah.
know. I talk to my mom probably. I phone call her. We're phone call fam. Uh, she helps me wake up in the morning because I have, if you anybody knows me, I have a problem with sleeping in till like 11, or in the case of Saturday, 1 p.m. after my bar shift. Literally, but in my defense, I slept from 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's not that crazy.
Okay,
Um,
that's not bad.
but morning, afternoon, and like sometimes evening if she doesn't have her social plans. Okay. So talk to your mom. What else?
My mama. Um, I feel like one of my vices in life is fast food. Don't come at me, any of you health people. Like
Oh, fuck off.
sometimes I just need to like go and have like everything that I want off of the McDonald's menu and just like cry in my car. I've done that multiple times where it's just like
What's your
I face
McDonald's order? I go with the kids sometimes that I nanny.
Man, I love McDonald's. See, there's so many things that I get there. When I go there, I
Mm.
order way too much food because I want one of everything. And I'm like, it's $1. I'm gonna get it no matter what.
Are you team McGriddle or not? The pancake sausage. I live for that shit. Something about the squeakiness of the pancake. I love it. And I feel disgusting every time I eat it, but I'm like, this is so good. I'll never not eat
I'm
this.
I'm not a breakfast McDonald's girl.
Okay.
I'm like purely Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
True.
McDonald's, like all like I'm getting if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm getting a double cheeseburger, I'm getting a fish fillet meal, I'm getting chicken nuggets, I'm getting a McChicken. Like I'm getting literally everything that I want and a large Coke. That's the main piece is their Coke.
So, talking to your mom, McDonald's. I love that. I feel like we don't acknowledge as a society like how good a cry or like a not a binge, that's such a triggered word, but like I
A
sometimes
purge. A purge,
I
if you
sometimes
will.
yeah, I sometimes feel so like self-policing where I'm like I have to go to the grocery store because eating out is expensive and like not it's cost prohibitive, and then I'm like why am I making my life so hard? And I was living in Australia, and the best friend I made out there, Mia, who I traveled with, was like, Clara, all the times you deny yourself those little moments of ease and of convenience, it will explode. And I think that like you and I going to Georgia Tech, we were in such like we put such parameters around ourselves in terms of schedule, in terms of so many things. And I think as I've grown up, it's more of just like, no, I can't eat out every day. And I'll never do that. But like, I don't need to feel bad if I go get which I just did. That's why we had a pause here, guys. I just got my shepherd's pie from Trader Joe's out, and like, it's not the end of the world that I ate a frozen meal, but getting rid of that guilt has been hard for me. And I think kind of, and I'm really taking away from your interview right now, but
No, no, not at all.
um, like living alone, I have nobody but myself to like either build me up or affirm me or whatever. Like I am my own regulator. So if I'm feeling upset, then I can get myself more upset, or I could just be patient with myself and be like, you know what, Clara, like you had a wonky day. Just go get the thing. It's fine.
Yep.
And I think when I was living with roommates, with my family, and then with my host families, there was so much of like gentleness around me of like, yeah, you've been really busy. Like, go do that. Like, eat that thing, or you need a walk. And living alone for me has been a big challenge of like really tuning into what I need personally and saying like, you know, I don't want to go out tonight. Like, I just want to watch freaking Kiki's Delivery Service for the 18th time.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's interesting living alone because you're also always the only person policing yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's really cliche, but I feel like I see this on Instagram all the time, where it's like, it's not a bad thing to not always be productive. And I think that's stupid when you read it so many times. You're like, oh, I know that, but Sunday when I, I lean to extremes sometimes for sure. My place
Yeah,
has
you
been
doing
a wreck.
5 loads of laundry at once, that stresses me out.
Oh, it stresses me out too. But it's like, you know what? Some days I need to just be horizontal for the whole day, and I don't need to look like I need to just go ahead and move all of the reminders that I had set for today to tomorrow. And don't even try to think mentally that I'm going to do them today because that's going to make today more stressful. Like,
Yes.
just going to move them over tomorrow because you know what? It can wait.
I a couple Saturdays ago, I watched the entire 2 seasons of Dairy Girls in 12 hours. I think
I
like
love
it was
that.
just back to back to back to back to back, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it, and I think it was a Saturday night. Like I didn't have plans. I had done my work. I had done my thing, and I was like, you know what, Clara, you need this.
You
Um,
can do it. You truly adulthood, like there are no rules. There are
there
none.
are no rules, and I
It doesn't
interact
matter.
with these two kids a lot, and I'm sometimes like I always felt so out of control as a child, and now I feel in control in some ways, but also out of control mentally a lot. Just, I think, my mental makeup. But I really try to give them parameters to make choices because I feel like the more choices we have, the more confident we feel in our decisions we make moving forward. And that's not to say that like choice overload is a real thing. Like I don't know what color shirt I want when there are 13 options, but like I think that's the one of the many good things, also horrible things that have come from COVID is it's just like I want flexibility to be like it's 85 degrees in Chicago right now. I am going to like I want to gouge my eyes out if I'm not outside on a bike ride right now. Like
Yep.
I like I'm going to work at night cuz like I literally have to be outside right now. And
Yeah.
I can do that cuz I don't have set hours and like as long as I meet my meetings and my interviews, I'm good. Um and just kind of becoming okay with being spontaneous, I think has been a really big lesson for me over the last, couple of months, couple of years. But
What a
kind of
beautiful
to,
season.
yeah, literally and spiritually. Okay, so maybe not last question, second to last question, the penultimate. I love that word, penultimate. Um, okay, so imagine you're talking to a girl. Her name's Kayla. She's lived in Kentucky her whole life, and she has an opportunity to move to Dallas. She's always lived in Kentucky her whole life, and she's like, oh, I don't know. I went to the University of Kentucky. I now work in Lexington. My whole life's here. What does she stand to gain by moving to Dallas? Like, what are the benefits of kind of taking that plunge? Because I think there's a lot of natural pauses when you move. You move to go to college, you move right after college, or potentially grad school, but there's this kind of weird, like 22 to 30 age where like nobody knows what they're doing. And I feel like you either get up and go or you stay put. So I guess like I feel like you just have such a unique perspective on that. What would you say to the person who's maybe settled post college but has this opportunity come up?
Um, I'm very thankful because I have an incredible support system. Like I said, I'm really close to my family. And I had kind of always wanted to move. I kind of knew I wanted to go somewhere. I always wanted to go to New York. I was not, that's like, because I wasn't going to Miami in my wildest dreams, hadn't even thought about it. But when I got the opportunity, my dad was like, why not? You don't have kids, you don't have a house. Like, it's literally never going to get easier. You can move, and if you hate it in 6 months, I'll come down there and load everything up and we'll drive it back to Atlanta. Like, it's like you literally have nothing to lose. Um, and everything can be changed. Like, truly, you can make a change about any part of your life basically at any time, which I know that's a privileged thing to say because it's easier. It's not always true, but if you are in the position to make a change and you're just scared to do it, I would say do it because I feel like while I haven't moved a lot, I've gone through the quintessential college 20 something breakups, and for sure you get a new version of yourself out of it. And every new version of myself that I've met feels more like me and like a deeper happiness and deeper understanding of myself. And I don't know, home isn't a place, home is people. And I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
um, this move definitely taught me that because home is always going to be like outside of Atlanta for me, my actual home, but my family comes and visits me a lot. Like I would say at least once a month, my aunt, my mom, or my dad come and stay with me for a weekend. So, um, your people are home and that can follow you wherever you are.
It's beautiful.
That was very touching, but it's true. It really is. Like
Yeah,
when you have good people around you, you're not really alone, even if you're physically alone. Like you can, thankfully, technology, you can have your people with you wherever you go.
absolutely. I actually thought of another question. You said to me a couple days ago that Miami was the city that made you come alive. What do you
Brought me
mean by
back to
that?
life.
Brought you back to life. It
Yeah,
was like the whoosh on the what is that thing called? The AED. Oh my gosh. I was a
yeah.
bunch of lifeguard.
Look at you, smarty pants.
No, don't put me in the pool right now, but thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, all of you 20-something girls, you probably know the book This Is Your Brain on Birth Control. So
Oh my
you
gosh,
probably know where I'm about
yes.
to go with this, but I was on birth control for a long time, and it really messes with your personality in a lot of very important ways. And this is not a pro or against birth control, but personally, I am a better person off of birth control than I am when I'm on birth control. So
Agreed.
I came off of it last year and like simultaneously moved. And I feel like those two things in combination, just like getting a whole new life and getting a whole new set of hormones, like kicked me into high gear, in a
It's
good way.
amazing.
Like, I don't know,
It's
it's
like
like
colors are brighter and things
life is
like have
sweeter,
more
everything.
texture. It's
Truly,
it's
really and
unreal.
truly.
Yeah, I highly actually that would be a great podcast. I should interview Kristen on that because we I felt like that TV show like The Pregnancy Pact.
Yes.
I feel like we did that, but it was like we're not going on birth control, but she's married and I'm single, but like totally different things. But we were like, do you believe this? Can you believe this? Like literally women's health is so underreported and like not studied and not a thing.
Yeah.
Another thing is on the basis of sex, I believe it's about medical disparities with women. Highly recommend that for literally any female or person who cares about
Okay.
females. Men read about it too. That's a British author.
Okay.
Okay, close this out. Bailey, what does the next year to two hold for you other than so many trips abroad, apparently, for
Yeah.
work?
A lot of traveling. Um, Hopefully a lot of stability too. I just re-signed my lease. Thank God I can afford
Mm,
to stay for another year. Um,
nice.
so I'm looking for just some stability in Miami and getting my roots deeper there. I will definitely be there for the foreseeable future. Um, I love my job. I love the city. I love my apartment. I don't want to leave. And
Are
until
you a beach bum yet?
I do love the beach, but the ease of the pool, like I get it.
Yeah.
Like we have a rooftop pool, so it's like when I could just walk 2 flights of stairs and have my own bathroom and refrigerator downstairs, I would
Mm-hmm.
rather not drive 20 minutes, park in a parking deck, walk half a mile, set up on the beach, not have a bathroom, like, and I don't know, just
I want to say I grew up as such a pool girl because one, swimmer, two, lived in a neighborhood that had 600 houses, like classic American or Atlanta suburbs. And somebody sometime in my life really shit on me for that. They're like, "You're at the beach. Why are you at the pool?" I'm like, hold the phone. There is something
you
magical about chlorine or saltwater pool if we're getting fancy. But like the pool is my happy place, and I don't know why because I'm living in Chicago now and there's literally no pools anywhere. But like, there's nothing like it, and I think it's a very American thing too. Like just the love of the pool.
I
So I
love the
feel you on
pool.
that. Well, Bailey, it's been such a delight to have you on the show. Any parting thoughts or just a goodbye?
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Everybody, like and subscribe, and I don't know, share with your friend. I don't get paid for this, so like anything that you can do to just spread my art would be appreciated. I hate myself for that. Okay, goodbye, everybody.